It seems disrespectful to talk about crack, but okay.
Welcome to a very special episode. It is your host, the H to the B to the K, the lawnmower, hidden right next to the tree. They don't know who we is. It's your boy Heartbreak, and I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the co-host with the most from coast to coast, Mr. AAK.
AAK, my dog's plight. HBK, dog full life. DMX, just rap shit, make it happen. I bet they know. Show them something.
Yeah, man. DMX.
Darkman X, Earl Simmons, the dog. He passed on. He went to the next life. Good, you know what I mean? These real niggas go through things, and when the real niggas go through things, you know what I mean? The world go through things, you know? Because that's what it is. When you real, the world can feel you, you know? You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know what I mean? It's like trying to flick a lighter. You know what I mean? It's like when you're trying to flick a lighter, you know what I mean? You keep hitting it, and then boom, 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 boom. You know what I mean? The light sparks. That's how it comes to me. That's how the words come to me. You know what I mean? That's how nigga do. Yeah. Real nigga shit. Yeah. Yeah, so I just immersed myself in a little bit of DMX. Mm-hmm. Now, I can't go back and play his music because I listen to his music on the regular.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? I said, you know what? Let me turn on some interviews and just see what this nigga was on, what type of time this nigga was on towards the end and shit. That nigga is the same nigga that he was in whatever interview he did in 1999. That's the same interview he was doing in 2020.
Authentic to a fault, man. You know what I'm saying? His style didn't really change. It didn't alter. It didn't mature with the time. It was the same thing, man. It was the same thing. You got it the same way you was getting it, the same way you was gonna get it. You know what I mean? Just because niggas was mumble rapping and snapping and doing whatever, he wasn't with that shit, my nigga. And he was gonna let you know he wasn't with that shit.
Oh, he was gonna let you know. That nigga came out of jail and immediately told niggas how he don't fuck with Drake. And fucking speaking for every nigga from the 90s on Earth and shit, man. Gave us our last little hurrah of not liking Drake, nigga, before we all had to just say fuck it. I don't like the way he walk. I don't like the way he talk. I don't like nothing about the nigga. I don't like the way he dressed.
I don't like that nigga Young Jeezy. What you got against Young Jeezy, X? I don't like his name. Shit, well, I don't know what that means. Okay. Oh, okay. Well, nigga, duly noted, nigga. I got you.
Oh, hey, it's just what it is. He's young. He's Jeezy. What is that? What is that?
Oh, my nigga.
Funny part is Jeezy was out for a minute, so I don't know. But anyway, he X is just, you're right, just authentic, supremely confident, and like people try to say Drake brought all the vulnerable shit. I even heard Drake rap about that one time. It was like a brag on one of his songs. I was like, that's such a bitch, man. Don't let me turn this into a Drake hate conversation.
Hate that nigga Drake, nigga. Hate him.
I see y'all niggas. I see more niggas all vulnerable in your music. I wonder where you got that from. Being vulnerable in your music is his claim to fame and shit. The fuck out of here. Like Kanye wasn't doing that. Like DMX wasn't doing that. You know what I'm saying? DMX talked about the good, the bad, the ugly. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I rob and I steal. Not because I want to, because I have
to. Don't make me show you what the gadget. But see, it's a difference. I mean, I understand, and not to keep Drake the topic of the night. I understand from both perspectives, though. You know what I'm saying? Like this, DMX wasn't really talking about emotional from a standpoint.
Okay, go ahead. I'm gonna let you finish. Go ahead.
Oh no, I'm just saying from like a standpoint of like love and all that shit. The nigga was talking about the fears. You know what I'm saying? Like the people say that Jay-Z showed you the other side because he told you he lost 92 bricks, 90, you know. Sure. You know what I'm saying? But this nigga X wouldn't hesitate to let you know, nigga, he was scared before he killed the nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that is the authenticity, my nigga.
Yeah, crying on stage and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was just watching him talk about that. He said the first time, or not the first time, but one time he cried on stage and he's like, the crowd just like uplifted him. And he was like, yeah, you know what I mean? Being that vulnerable. And instead of niggas thinking you soft, you know what I'm saying? They could feel the realness in it, you know what I mean? Because that was from the heart right there. You know, I was saying the prayer and this shit, I got into the emotions of it. That's what I'm talking about. Like, it wasn't necessary, because DMX, though he was a wordsmith, he was not like the deepest of lyricalness. What it is that that's what we're talking about. That's what we've been talking about. The authenticity of when he said something, you believed him. And I think that's the main thing missing from the game to this day. Like, these trap rappers and these people, when they say stuff, it sounds like they're saying it just because it sounds good.
Right.
And DMX, when he said shit, you felt it in your soul, not because like you could relate, even if you could, but more so just because you felt like he meant what he was saying.
Right.
And that's what brought it to another level. Like, he was like, the days are getting longer and it feels like I'm wasting time. I got a lot of dreams, but I ain't really chasing mine. And nowadays, getting by is an occasional meal and getting high. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? In the midst of get at me, dog. That's what he said. You know what I mean? In the midst of get at me, dog. It's just realness. And I'm going to tell you this. So, the buttress my point if I can. When DMX first came out, stop, drop, shuttle down, open up shop. I wasn't feeling it that much because I was so lyrics, constant controversy. I was on the lyrics. You had to have the metaphors and all of that. And DMX didn't really have metaphors and all that. So I heard the song and I was like, it's cool, but whatever. I ain't fucking with it. Really didn't like DMX like that. And then I went to a boxing match. And DMX was bringing out Bernard Hopkins. Bernard Hopkins' name was called the Executioner. And when he walk out, he'd have a mask on and he'd throw up his X. And so whose shit is that? That's DMX's shit. So I guess he had the bright idea, I'm going to have DMX walk me out to the ring. DMX is walking him out and he's performing X is coming for you. So he's walking out, X is coming for you. Can't do nothing for you. Run high, duck. We don't give a fuck. X is coming for you. And so he's getting in the middle of the verse and he's performing the shit, but people don't realize, like, sometimes buildings have rules. So it's not necessarily the promotion, it's the building rules. Or sometimes like the sanctioning body has rules, and their rules are like you can't curse or you can't show somebody drinking liquor on the camera. So basically, it gave DMX the rules: you have to not curse. And this is like 1998. Or 97, somewhere in there, before DMX was super big, but when he was basically there, you know what I mean? He's on the precipice of being a fucking superstar. And so he came out to the ring and he's rapping his shit. And he didn't bother not cursing. Like, he was like, I'm not about to sit here and edit myself. And you could see he was getting into it. And he was like rapping in front of like me and my brothers and shit. And there's maybe like 100 other people in the arena. And most of them were white people or whatever. So it wasn't like a full packed arena. But this nigga was going in like it was a show packed full of 1,000-something people. You know what I'm saying? This nigga was going in. He was walking down and like, and there was no backing track either. It was just him. It was just the music and him rapping. Then he gets on the stage and he's rapping, and they cut his mic because he was cursing. So they cut his mic and just had the music playing. It took him a second to realize that he look at the mic and then like looked to his right and his left and then immediately swung the mic around his head like a helicopter and shit and slammed it on the ground. And the microphone broke into pieces. And then he just threw the X up and started barking. And nigga, when I tell you, I jumped out my seat like like I was watching a fucking movie or something. Like I was watching like somebody got knocked out. You know what I'm saying? I jumped out my seat. It just threw my ex up and just started barking with this nigga. You know what I'm saying? And I just started barking back with him. Nigga. That's how much I felt that shit. And then the security came and like escorted him off the ring. And he was there to fucking walk out Bernard Hopkins, nigga. And ever since that, nigga, I went home, got this nigga's CD, nigga, and listened to that shit till the motherfucking wheels came off, nigga. Like, I never stopped listening to it because everything he was saying on that album, after I saw him in person, I was like, oh, he means that shit. That nigga means everything he's talking about. Right? You know what I'm saying? The niggas do want to try. Niggas do want to lie, nigga. Niggas do wonder why niggas want to die. You know what I'm saying? That's like, every word he's saying, nigga, I believe it. Leave a dog alone, nigga. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, man, you let a dog roam and he'll find his way over, nigga. Yeah, it's all facts, man. It's all true, man.
And you can't trade, you can't buy that authenticity. You can't create that. You can't, you know what I mean? You know, you gotta be born with that. And I think that's what's the real thing that's missing from this world, this game now. Like you got a couple niggas that I believe, like the Baby, Lil Baby. I believe them niggas are about what they talk about, you know what I'm saying? But their music and their sound doesn't match what their lifestyle may have been. Right. You know what I'm saying? There's only a few niggas who like are able to really articulate that shit. You got the Locks, you got Beanie Siegel, DMX. And DMX might have been like, out of all of them niggas, he might have been the one that you just, when he told you he was a stick-up kid that used to rob niggas, he raps like a stick-up kid that used to rob niggas. And I don't care if what he's talking about. He just has that sound, you know what I mean? He just has that, you feel it in his soul. And you just, you know what I mean? He had that. And so I think that's why that music lasts so long for me. You got a DMX story, nigga?
Huh? Yeah. Well, I think about it. You know what I'm saying? Not as vivid as that, right? But I just
you can't follow that nigga.
Nah.
That bitch ass
nigga. DMX was at my birthday party, right? And they told him he couldn't rap. Fucking
that nigga threw the cake on the ground. Nigga.
Yeah, nigga, they told him he couldn't rap where the hood at, nigga. You know what I'm saying? And he came to the part where he said the nigga in jail is the bitch in pumps, nigga, with Kool-Aid on his lips, and my mother cut the mic, nigga. She cut the mic. Nigga turned the cake over, nigga. I mean, I remember Rough Riders Anthem, you know what I'm saying? And I remember that being a thing, and I just remember like, yo, I appreciated the energy, and I mean, just the visual, and something I feel like, I don't know if that was Lil X or something, I don't know who directed that video, but just the sea of motorcycles and four-wheelers and shit, just, there was an organic feeling to that movement at that time. You know what I mean? And then I remember my cousin, who is the, you know what I'm saying, the forebearer of my style, what would later become my style and shit. I remember I was like, because I knew that the DMX album was already out, right? Because and this just speaks to kind of the fever pitch he was at the time. I knew that the DMX album was already out. I knew It's Dark and Hell Is Hot was already out. But I'll never forget, like one Saturday, we're driving around Detroit. We're driving from record store to record store to record store. This is pre-iTunes, kids. This is pre-Apple Music and Spotify. We're driving from record store to record store.
You had to go out the house, man.
Yeah. And I never bothered to ask because I was on an adventure with my cousin, man. So we're driving and we finally get to, I want to say we went to this place off of, it was in Detroit, went to this place off of Livernois, man. Went to this little, I want to say it was like Warehouse Music, but it wasn't a name brand place. It was some local spot. Get out the car. It was snow on the ground. So it was December. Yeah, that's what it. So then I'm like, we go inside. Hey man, y'all got the DMX? Yeah, man, it's right over there. And I'm like, shit, DMX album is already out. What is? And then he picked up the album. Ah, shit. I ain't really feeling this nigga covered in blood, but I fuck with it and bought it. Boom, slip it in. Flesh of my flesh, blood of my blood. DMX's second album, also his second #1 album in 2 years. You know what I'm saying? What would go on to become his second #1 album in 2 years.
So wait, y'all bought the second album first by mistake, or the first album wasn't, you couldn't get it because
No, he had the first album. I didn't know that he was bringing out a second album in the same year, because at that time, and even shit now, you don't think that somebody that just brought out an album and the album is still pumping, it's still going. You like, and at that time, you know what I'm saying, I'm kind of oblivious to album release dates and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? You go to the store, some shit's in there, and you're like, oh shit, it's in there. All right, I'm buying it. But yeah, no, I didn't know that the second album came out, because we still every time we ride out, we still bumping the first album.
And if you think about it, I mean, I think you said it didn't work for Ghostface, but if you think about it, it's an ingenious tactic.
Yeah.
Because if you are on top of the world, the way he was on top of the world, like, what are you going to do? Not buy the second album? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Really, the promo from the first album is now going into the second album. Like, all every song that's still bumping, all the hits, like he had like maybe 3 or 4 radio hits on the first album.
Yeah.
To the point where I think he might have put out one song off the second album as a radio single, because he didn't need to. The first album was lifting both tides. You know what I'm saying? It was hitting so hard.
Exactly. And that was at a time, like, because, you know, and like I said, at the time you don't think about any of this, and I think Slippin' was the first only single off that second album, right?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. But you're not, and this is, like I said, a different time. Like now, shit, you bring out a hot joint, it may run for about 3 weeks. It may be at the top of the top for about 3 weeks. And then after that, you know what I'm saying, hey, God help you, you know what I mean? But really at that time, that was probably 99, I want to say.
Yeah.
What else? You know what I'm saying? Like, who else is going to do that? Like, that's a...
Well, it was 98.
98, okay, yeah.
Yeah, it was 98, and he dropped 2, and then 99, I think towards the end of 99.
Oh, that's when, and then there was X came out, right?
Yeah. That's the fuck I'm talking about. Half rapping ass niggas. You think it's a game?
You think it's a fucking game?
Come on. Come on, man. That was the greatest, like, follow-up. If you're going to have the greatest year ever, that is the greatest follow-up you could possibly have, nigga. Like,
absolutely.
And here's the thing. Like, when I go back and look at his discography, when I look at what he did, like what hits he had, what was going on, and I was listening to him on Drink Champs with Nori, he said that his first album was full of his battle rhymes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, all the shit he in the streets that he was battling niggas with, that was mostly the first album. And then the second album, Lior dared him to do an album in a month. It said, if you could finish the album in a month, I'll give you $1 million. So he said, what? Nigga, of course. So he did it, but he said that he wasn't as confident because he wrote all that shit in the month. Like, he came up with it right then and there. And he said he still had battle rhymes left that he was more confident in. And then you go to fucking the third album, and then that's when, to me, he got back on form. Because the second album, to me, was good, but it just...
It was a good compliment to the first album, but it wasn't on its own. You know what I'm saying? It was like a good B-side, like a fire-ass B-side. I think that, and I want to say that's, speaking to your point of what he was talking about with the first album, I want to say that's how they said that Get At Me Dog came about. So they had the beat and everything. That nigga didn't want to rap on it because he had just did the little kind of rock and roll type beat with Rough Riders Anthem. So they just took all his freestyles and shit and chopped them up and put them on the beat. Yeah,
that nigga didn't like the rock and roll joints.
Yeah.
And it's crazy that his most remembered song is
Yeah.
the anthem, but probably his favorite song, or one, not his favorite song, but like one of the beats that he probably would have liked was Niggas Don't Start or something. And that's probably, to me, his best verse. What do you think his best feature is?
One of my favorite verses of all time is the It's Murder, the Ja Rule, Jay-Z, because I knew he was coming to take niggas' heads off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that right there.
That's up there.
Yeah, that's up there.
I'm going to go ahead and give you mine. DMX's best feature, if I had to guess, I'm going to have to go with, it's either going to be Money Cash Hoes.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Money Cash Hoes or 24 Hours to Live on the Lock shit.
Yeah, see that 24 hours. Yeah, that's my shit right there. That's my shit.
You think he had the best verse on that song?
I mean, yeah, but
for a nigga that wasn't that lyrical, right?
Yeah.
That wasn't like in the strictest sense of the word, I'm trying to say, like that wasn't like with the metaphors and all the similes and shit. He was just able to paint pictures so vivid. You could hang them up in your room. You could burn Young Chunk without smelling the fumes. He was just able to just do shit that like other niggas couldn't do. And it's funny to say because I think Styles P had a similar verse. And on some real nigga shit didn't change that shit. Because they both like ended the same way. Or it started the same way. If I had 24 hours to live, I'll probably die on the 10th. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever. Like, DMX had the same exact idea, but nobody's verse stands out like DMX's verse. And it's almost like that on every little posse cut that he did back then.
Yeah.
I think the only person that got him was able to get him was Jay-Z. And I mean, that nigga used to get everybody. But like, mostly, this nigga would have the best verse on the song. Like, most of the time. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's fucking crazy how a nigga who wasn't really with all the metaphors and all the similes was just able to do that shit. And like, you could tell he was making it up as he goes along. Like, he did that Lil Wayne stop pause style where he would just say the line, make him pause, come up with the next one, say the next one. He used to do that all the time, make it up on the spot and shit. But do you have a favorite feature? Did you think of one?
Nigga, I was just gonna re-edit my It's Murder commentary into that.
Oh, okay. Another one of his most underrated verses and features. This is how real this nigga was. He did the remix to Keep Rolling, 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 Rolling. Yeah. What? He did the fucking remix to that shit. That shit was incredible, his verse on there, my nigga. Ain't never had shit, ain't gonna be shit. That's why I take shit whenever I see shit. My mom's never let me forget that I was a bastard. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was incredible at slipping in that real shit that just made you feel his voice. And then he had the voice and everything. You know what I mean? At the time when he was coming out, 9-9 and all that, and Jay-Z, Ja Rule, DMX, and them niggas was just running everything. Was he your favorite, or was Jay-Z your favorite? Like, who was the one of the three?
What I would say, I was going to hit on that, man. You think about the Murder Inc., right? And not the rap label, but the proposed group that never was. And you look at them three, and I think somebody tried to make light a long time ago. Like, oh, you look at those three and you see the three ways that people can go, I guess. And I think at that time, DMX was in jail or something, right? And then you got, at that time, Jay-Z was on his way to $1 billion. But any way you look at it, and any time you look at it it's still such an interesting character study of three people that, you know what I'm saying? Because they were meteoric rises around the same time, and still, even though it's New York hip hop, true, you had three different guys on three different wavelengths, but still they were competitors and still sharp and steel, right? Because Jay-Z wasn't doing what DMX was doing, but still the competition was there. And at that time, I was more of a DMX guy. You know what I'm saying? Later in life, I've become more of a Jay-Z guy. But At that time, man, and even I remember watching backstage, and they was in the cipher together, and you know what I'm saying. Jake said his shit, and I was like, ooh, okay, all right. And DMX, I don't remember the exact verse, but I just remember that nigga said something about, and I'll put pinstripes across your windpipe, and I said, oh my god, oh god, nigga, like, but that's what it was, man. The nigga, like you say, he wasn't the biggest metaphor guy. He wasn't the most complex rapper guy, but he had slick shit that he would say where you just say, this nigga's he's out of here, man.
Survival instinct that keeps my head above the water. Every day I show another how I love a slaughter. Plug your daughter full of more holes than sponges.
Boy, and the funny thing is, like we kind of, I think we kind of, you know, naturally you're gonna go gravitate more towards the gritty shit that he was rhyming about. But I think even when he made like something like Party Up, which a case could be made that even though
he still kept the grimy shit on there.
Yeah, even though mothers and grandmothers and soccer moms was playing that shit, still gritty.
Oh man, say you stupid, but you be like, so
I love my baby mother. I never let her go. And but you know what I'm saying? He had the highs going down, right? Still,
yeah, it's fucking.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a forgotten. Like people don't really. It's not like people forgot it.
Yeah.
But that song, is underrated somehow. You know what I'm saying? It was a hit, but somehow it's still underrated.
Yeah, and that's one of the ones that still get heavy rotation with me, man.
And it's crazy because it's like Busta. It took him like 3 or 4 singles before he calmed down on what possibly is his best hit. What is it? Put your hands where my eyes can see. What's the one where he raps for Smooth?
Yeah, put your hands where my eyes can see.
Yo. It took him like 2 or 3 albums to figure out that he could do smooth shit. This nigga DMX on the first album put out him doing the smooth shit, just showing his range. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Nigga, oh my god, nigga, that's my shit though. You know what I'm saying?
That was my ringtone. I remember I was talking to this Muslim chick from New York, and I had the Razor at the time. You couldn't tell me shit, nigga. I had the Razor cell phone, nigga, and you could download your own little music bites. Them shits will only be like 5-10 seconds, and then it would repeat. And you could create your own ringtone, nigga. Everybody had their own ringtone, and I had where he was like, to be girls, you know, getting my bark on. And when I knew she was real, because when I met her, she had a scarf on.
5'11", size 7 with curls. Yeah. Nah. That was my shit. Yeah, man.
And that was 10 years later, damn near. And I was fucking, you know what I'm saying?
That man made timeless music, man.
It's crazy because you never would have thought it'd be that timeless at the time.
Yeah.
But it stands the test of time. And it's just, again, it's because it's authentic. It's just him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And
it's real and it has a point to it. He did it like there's a reasoning behind the shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Even when you look at something like and you would think this is where you go. This is as poppy as you can get. This is where all your credibility goes out the window when you have a Cisco feature with what these bitches want from a nigga. Like, how do you continue to keep the credibility? But
the chorus was so real that even if Cisco sung it, you still had to feel it. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Because Cisco is singing what these bitches want from a nigga. Lips ringing, go on the jury, go, I bought it. Hey yo, what these bitches want from me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
And here's the thing, like, Cisco, I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was because niggas just thought he was gay, but like when he was in Drew Hill, they was like, yo, this nigga can sing. You know what I'm saying? Like, niggas fucked with it. Then he dropped the Thong song. I don't care what niggas say, like, the Thong song was hot. You know what I'm saying?
So hot. One verse, my nigga. One verse repeated 3 times, my nigga. And
Exactly.
I didn't know that till I was like a year ago and shit, nigga. I just, what the fuck?
I noticed at the time, but I ain't give a fuck. That shit was banging. Da-da, da-da. I was like, what? Then I was like, let me sing it again. I was like, sing it again, bitch, nigga. You know what I mean? But that was like at a time where shit was getting so gangster.
Yeah.
Which is so crazy because we already left the Wu-Tang era, but it was like, you could shine, nigga. We shiny now. We cleaned up. But you still can't be no bitch ass nigga. And niggas thought he was gay. And that was the worst look. So after the Thorn song, niggas wanted to like kill him. You know what I'm saying?
Right. But
and so
instead of him kind of pulling DMX to where he was at, the inverse happened. And
DMX kind of legitimized it.
Yeah.
You know? Gave him another run. You know what I mean? Like, go on, nigga, come on. I'm going to listen to this Drake chat. I wish I would have heard the whole thing, but before we did this, but I wonder if he talks about how that went. Like, I know he's going to say.
That's his second Drake champs, ain't it?
Swiss put it together. You know what I mean? That was Swiss right there. Swiss did that.
Yeah, that was his second Drake champs, right? He did one where he was kind of looked like he was looking kind of bad, right? Did he do one?
Could be.
Where he was talking real fast and he was like, yeah, man.
Yeah, he was on something.
Yeah, X don't look right, man.
Because I was trying to figure out which one was the real DMX. The one where his voice is mad deep, or is it one where his voice is high pitched and he's talking mad fast?
Yeah.
I was trying to figure out which is which. But you know, he also has a manic depressant.
Yeah.
It's another real lyric. A manic depressant with extreme paranoia. Hey dog, I got something for you. But yeah, he's a manic depressant. So sometimes he's on a high, sometimes he's on a low, and then sometimes he's regular mid. So you catch him at those high times, and you could tell because he's talking all fast. I know somebody who had what you call that shit where they go from high to low, that gets manic and then gets depressed and goes back and forth. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I knew somebody with that. So when I watched him, I could tell, and it's straight. You know, funny enough. I mean, real is real. I didn't know if it was because he was high or on crack or something like that. So I didn't know what it was, but when you think about it, he is a manic depressant, so that has a lot to do with why sometimes you see him one way, sometimes you see him another way.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, he just I want to know how he felt about that in hindsight, because he was talking about how he didn't like all the rock beats and he didn't like Rough Riders anthem and all that, but I never heard him talk about the Cisco joint. I wonder how he felt, because it's, you say that, right? We say like, he had the Cisco joint, whatever, and that's like close to end of his career, but that was still at a time when niggas didn't really like. He put out the third album and it was more successful than both the first two. Right. You know what I'm saying? I think the first one sold 2 or 3, the second one sold 1 or 2, and then the third one sold 5 million. You know what I'm saying? And that's what he had. What you really want? What bitches want from a nigga? He had What's my name? Party Up. Yeah. His mega smash hits. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, it's just fucking crazy. That was all on one album and shit. Did he try to do it again? Did he try to repeat coming out in the same year?
No, no. Great Depression. I think that the Great Depression was the 4th album. I think that was probably because I remember I bought And Then There Was X right as I was leaving Detroit. I want to say Great Depression came out when we was in high school.
Yeah, it did. I mean, they did. That was 2001, so yeah, that was right around there. And to me, that's when I kind of like, I wasn't really much into his music anymore. You could kind of tell, for me, from an artist standpoint, like from a fan standpoint, that's when I kind of knew like Swiss Beats was kind of picking his songs, and it seemed like he was making music to get pop. Yeah. But here's the thing, like, even with that said, even with that criticism, that, on my part, it's my opinion. A lot of DMX fans probably feel different. He would probably feel different, whatever. But even with that said, some of them songs are still banging. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he was still able to put out quality shit even when he was on the downside. Like, after having such a high, it's hard to stay up there. It's hard to reach the mountaintop and then stay there and glide to another mountaintop.
Well, but you got to look at it like this too, man. It's a point of where he had personal demons. He was trying to do a movie career, and he was still trying to maintain being one of the hottest in the game. You know what I'm saying? So it was a lot going on. You know what I'm saying? A lot to make.
Has anybody been able to do that?
Not at all. That's what I'm saying. So even, you know what I'm saying? Even if it didn't have his full attention, damn, you're still talent. You know what I'm saying?
Still very fucking efficient with his hit making ability.
Yeah.
Like, you can say whatever you want about this nigga. He still could pull a hit out his ass. So after Party Up comes out, he comes out with No Sunshine, which to this day is one of my favorite DMX songs. Like, it's just fucking crazy that he was able to take that song and like take one of the best songs ever. R.I.P. Bill Withers, Ain't No Sunshine, and do what he did with it. To the point where Anderson Silva loved the song Ain't No Sunshine as a kid. And then he started using DMX version because he just thought it was ill. You know what I'm saying? Who turned out the lights is what niggas is saying. But I don't want to fight. Now you niggas is playing. So DMX was like, Anderson Silva was like, yo, this shit fits. I'm going to start walking out to it. And Anderson Silva was the biggest MMA fighter for a good 5-6 years. And so him marrying himself to that song kind of made DMX's song like have reinvigorated new life. Because I remember when it first came out, I liked that shit. I dug that shit. But when Anderson Silva started walking out to it, it gained a whole new meaning for it. And it just goes to show you the life that DMX's music takes. I'll give you another example. Mike Tyson used to come out to this, it'd just be him and a towel. Like, he'd have a towel over his head and these black trunks, no frills. And he used to walk out and it would be like a toe would just go doom, 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 kind of almost like the Undertaker and shit. And then he would get to the ring and the nigga be so scared of this nigga just all deezed up. And nigga known for knocking niggas the fuck out. Niggas be scared before the bell even ring and shit. So then DMX puts out the song, the intro, which if I could be wrong, you know what I mean? If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Y'all can correct me later. But I think it had the same type of tolls in it, that doom, doom, doom. It's dark, hell is hot. And then Mike Tyson started coming out to the intro. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it was towards the end of his career, so it wasn't as impactful as when Anderson Silva was coming out to it. But it just goes to show you that niggas get in this mindset when DMX starts making music and shit, and how powerful his shit is. So Anderson Silva coming out to this day, I go back and watch fucking old footage of Anderson Silva coming out, and the lights go out, and it's dark, and hell is hot. Ain't no sunshine when it's on. Doom, doom, doom. Ain't no darkness every day. Doom, doom, doom. Ain't no sunshine when it's on. Cause when it's on, you niggas better be gone. Cause every time, chills, nigga. Chills. Every time. Fucking chills. Cause you just knew what was about to happen. You know, this nigga's about to get in the ring and do some shit you ain't ever seen before. And him coming out to one of my favorite artists was just, it's just one of my favorite things. I used to love that shit. I used to get pissed because I ain't buy no fucking pay-per-views. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Them shits cost too much money. Back then I was making it. I ain't have it. You know what I mean? I ain't have it. So nigga had to pirate that shit. You know what I mean? Let me check. Statute of limitations. I was pirating that shit. So I used to get pissed if the stream fucked up. I ain't like, the fight was one thing, but let me see this fucking Anderson Silva walk out so I could hear DMX's shit. So he brought that out in 2001, which is supposedly what I called his downfall. Like when he started slipping, when he started falling off. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm calling his downfall. He still has songs like No Sunshine. We right here. We not going anywhere. We right here. They don't know who we be. You know what I mean? He still has some shit. X gon' give it to you. X gon' give it to you. You know what I mean? With a hood at. And then the worst one for me was Get It on the Floor, but I guess that was a hit. I hate fucking Get It on the Floor. To me, that's the epitome of like them niggas scrounging for another hit. Get it on the floor, get it on the floor. But even that one, when I hear him rapping, it does something different. Like when I hear the chorus and the beat, it's more Swiss Beats doing Swiss beat shit, and it was bothering me at the time. But yeah, man, the nigga's just a fucking. He deserves all the accolades and all the respect.
Like I said, man, my history with DMX is DMX will come out, do his thing, go away, pop up again, man, and you know, without sounding disrespectful or anything, like we ain't seen the last of DMX, man. He go away, you come back, man. That's just him, man. And so I'm sure you got something else that's gonna drop or something else that's gonna come out, and
Yeah.
see him again, man. That's
We'll see him again. We'll celebrate the year of the dog again, man.
Yeah.
So
man.
Here's to you, DMX, man. You had a good run. You still in my playlist, nigga. You know what I mean? Appreciate the years. I'm sending this up to the ether, nigga. Up there in the ether. Here's the goodwill, my nigga. May you have the peace in death that you could not attain in life. Nah, that's a line from that's a line from Dust Till Dawn and shit. But
peace to him, peace to his family, blessings and love and rest well, man. I can't say any more about it, man. It's legendary.